What's the most memorable thing you remember from Shaq's playing days?
Ooh. Bringing down that rim, when I think back to it, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Just the dunks, the physicality on the rim. My first memory as a coach when I first got to San Antonio, the most memorable part was the first time I saw him in person. When it was a game, I'm sitting behind the bench, and just to physically see him play against Tim Duncan, and the size, the dominance, the strength, just how overpowering he was is just a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I'm not sure we'll ever see someone that size with that sort of presence that he had.
With 9 games left in the season now, obviously you guys are out of the playoff race. What are the goals for these final 9 games? How do you make these last 9 games a success?
I think finishing strong, finishing, playing the right way, getting better at what we're trying to accomplish on both ends of the floor, being a solid defense every night. If we can accomplish that, do that every single night, defend at a high level, challenge ourselves every night to hold each other accountable to that. Offensively, keep sharing the ball, moving the ball. We found some nice rhythm offensively. If we can keep doing those 2 things over the next 9 games, I think we'll finish strong, be competitive in as many of these as we can be, get to those fourth quarters again and try to learn how to close out these games down the stretch.
Coach, looking at it from a big picture point of view, where do you think Vooch is defensively right now, and how do you think he can improve going forward on that end of the floor?
He's a very smart player. He understands his rotations. He's usually in the right place at the right time. The next step for him is just the challenging of more shots, the physicality, a little more of a presence on the interior. And he's big enough, he's strong enough. Now he's just becoming more comfortable doing that more consistently. And I think we've seen some growth there. He's often in the right position. He plays pick and roll very well. I think what all of us are talking about is really that rim protection, being more of a force in the paint. And I think having Dwayne Dedman there has helped him. But those 2 guys together make us much better defensively.
Looking at this Detroit team, how much different of a dynamic does a guy like Reggie Jackson bring to them compared to Brandon Jennings when the last time you saw this team?
They're different. I mean, Reggie's a tough cover. I mean, he can get to the rim. He has a pull-up game. He's a very smart player, great instinct, and he's played in big games, so he's been there before. He's a very steady point guard. Brandon Jennings, from game to game, he could give you 51 game or maybe go 0 for a game. But Reggie's a very consistent player and a very good defensive player as well. So their backcourt's very strong right now, playing very well. Our 2 guards up front are going to have to play very well tonight.
Last time you saw this Detroit team here, I believe Jody Meeks kind of got a little hot in the second quarter. How do you kind of slow him down when he comes into the game tonight?
Well, we got to be aware of him, number one. They do multiple things to get him open. They'll run some pin down for him, but a lot of it is he's spaced with pick and roll happening, and it makes it tough on you when they put a dynamic roller in there playing pick and roll. You got to decide, are you going to help on the roll or are you going to stay with the shooters? You can't really do both. You can try to do both, and it takes great effort. We're going to have to do both tonight, but it's not easy. So, we're going to have to be very good in our pick and roll defense tonight, really on the point of attack. Before it even gets to the tags on the weak side helping, we got to be very good about getting back in front of the ball, and that's Reggie Jackson. So, to answer your question, we just got to be more urgent to him. When the ball is kicked in, we got to find him sooner, be more urgent to make him put it down. But he's a very good player, and they do a good job spacing the floor, so you got to give Detroit credit for that.
With respect to Kyle, is it just that there's not enough minutes to go around some nights when everybody's healthy and he's kind of the odd man out right now? And what can he do to crack back into the rotation?
Yeah, I think Andrew's been given some opportunities here, and he's really earned those opportunities, and he's made the most of them. And Channing Frye, you add him to the mix, Nick, Dwayne, it's tough to get minutes. It's hard to play 5 bigs, sometimes 6 bigs in a rotation. That's very difficult. And right now he is sort of the one big that's out of the rotation right now, but it doesn't mean he's out for us. He could still get an opportunity tonight or down the road, and he's got to be ready for that.
You guys good?
Thanks, guys.